If you've seen any sort of Rocket League gameplay at a pro level, so like RLCS, YouTube, Twitch streamers, anything like that, chances are you've seen this car design. You might know it as the AJ car design, or the Arsenal car design, or Chicago car design, or First Killer, or Yan, or Chronic, or Rise, or there's a lot of people that use this. If you were to tune into RLCS at any random moment during a match, chances are you'd see at least one player in the lobby using it, if not more. If you didn't notice this already, I guarantee you will now. But something that took me years to finally understand is why? Out of the millions of different combinations of items in this game, why do so many top players use this exact design? Is this preset just different? Is this the secret to being good at Rocket League that pros won't tell you about? Well, depending on who you ask, the answer is surprisingly, kinda, yeah. There are 7 visual components to a normal car design: the body, the decal, the colors, the wheels, the boost, the topper, and the antenna. It's quite a bit if you think about it, so kind of weird that so many pros happen to use the same ones. However, when a pro player picks a design to use, immediately they can eliminate both toppers and antennas from the equation because professional players tend to stay away from distracting cosmetics that get in the way of performance. As for boosts, it's a general known thing that nearly all professionals use alpha boost exclusively, so that narrows it down a bit more. For wheels, it's a bit similar to toppers. A wheel that's generally hideous or bulky can be distracting in competition, so they tend to stay away from wheels that don't really look like wheels. But that still leaves a large amount of them to choose from. For car bodies, in competition over the years, it's been determined that only a few out of the 80 plus in-game are actually worth considering if you want the best visual accuracy to your hitbox. All of these factors narrow down a seemingly infinite amount of possible designs to choose from into something that's more of a finite number that you can imagine. However, even after these constraints, you're still left with thousands of completely different designs that could be made that still follow these strict rules and generally look appealing by most standards. Which means there's something we're not considering here that makes this go way deeper. But first, today's video is sponsored by Displate. Longtime fans of the channel will already know how much I love Displates. They're really the highest quality posters out there in my opinion. I've got like so many of them at this point. I'm showing a few of them right now that I got recently. They're super easy to set up, no need for nails in your wall or anything. Just put the protective leaf on first, then the magnet on top of that, and you just hang up your Displates. You can switch them around however you want, super easy, and if you decide to take the magnet and stuff off, it leaves no marks at all, like it was never there. And like I said, they're super high quality. They're actually made of metal, so you're not gonna crease them or anything. Their website has a bunch of artwork to choose from. If you just search like a keyword or phrase, you'll get a bunch of results, and they're adding new artwork on there all the time. If you're not sure, I'd recommend checking out the website for yourself and just searching something up. Chances are you'll be impressed. I know I am, even to this day. They even have a branded shop just for Rocket League if you want to check that out. The link in the description will take you right there and get you 27% off 1 to 2 Displates or 37% off 3 or more. I think that's actually the best deal I've been able to get you guys so far, so go check it out, and thank you again to Displate for sponsoring the video. The big thing about these car designs is that the items you choose don't actually make a difference with your gameplay. There's no boost that goes faster or wheels that turn quicker or anything like that. The only item that actually makes a slight difference is your car body that you choose. But even then, those differences are very minuscule. So theoretically, as long as you choose the right car body and the other cosmetics you choose aren't distracting, then it shouldn't matter what items you use at the end of the day. But if you tell almost any professional player that, they will immediately disagree. And the reasoning is that almost every pro player is a huge victim of placebo. However, victim might not actually be the right word for it. Let me explain. In most cases, superstition and placebo in sports and esports isn't something to take seriously when you're actually trying to perform your best. At the end of the day, it's fake. Changing your decal or boost doesn't actually make you faster or change anything at all. It's 100% cosmetic. It's normal for most Rocket League players to go through some form of placebo once they start taking the game seriously, so maybe like 100 hours in. It could be a car body you like, a decal, a boost, anything that makes you feel like you're playing really good, even though it doesn't actually change anything. However, for professionals, instead of overcoming that placebo of thinking this item makes me play fast, as they get better, they actually embrace it. It evolves from not just an individual item you like, but an entire car design that you think makes you play better. And beyond that, it turns into exclusively copying car designs that other good players already use. Away with the days where you spend time making your own designs and deciding what you personally like. At some point, these players become so sweaty that they start believing the only way to play at peak performance is if they're using a design that they already know is proven to be associated with speed and precision. The same way you might copy Justin's camera settings if you want to play like Justin, other pro players might copy First Killer's car design if they see him playing super fast and dominating everyone else. I'm not saying pro players are delusional. They're definitely not. Like, they understand that changing your items doesn't actually change your movement. But what it does change is your mindset. And at a level where every little imperfection in your gameplay matters, that can actually be a huge benefit. Going back to that original design of the video, believe it or not, this combination has existed for nearly 6 years in the pro scene. All the way back in RLCS Season 3, 2017, a pro named Violent Panda created a design he just thought looked cool. It looks like this. For the first season or so, he used it all the time in a bunch of matches, but no one else really copied it. However, once he solidified himself as a top player in the world, winning 2 RLCS World Championships in a row, other players really started to look up to him even more so. Suddenly, his car design became associated with fast, precise gameplay. When other players wanted to feel fast and precise, they'd equip those same exact items to help complement that feeling they were looking for. Eventually along the way, someone decided to change the wheels to titanium white Reapers, and the cycle continued. After that, you're finally left with the exact car design you see countless professional players use today. The crazy part, Violent Panda has now retired as a professional player, but the design he created so many years ago, along with the feeling he associated with it, still lives throughout the entire scene today. So many people use it now that almost no one even knows where it originally came from. There are a bunch of other designs that pop up frequently, like there's this neural network one that guys like AJ, Daniel, Nolly, and a bunch of others have used. There's this other one that people call the French Fennec, I think. That one's super common. All these designs have a very similar origin story, where the pros just copy each other when they see someone playing super mechanical in it. Some of the designs die out if they start to get associated with failure, while others just spread like wildfire and live on for years. There was a point a long time ago where white Zombas were used by a ton of pros, and that's a huge reason why they became so popular and expensive. But nowadays, most pros just consider these wheels heavy, even though nothing has actually changed with them. Lawler made a good video exploring this concept where he interviewed pros and asked them what sort of car designs they prefer. The funny part is, some of the pros said that darker designs tend to make them feel really fast and good, while others said the exact opposite. It just totally proves that it's all in your head, but at the same time, it has its benefits if it changes your mindset for the better. I decided to play some ranked games with the MG88 car everyone uses. I'll just call it that since that's the decal that it has. And I personally didn't feel that different while I was playing, but at the same time, I went 6-0. Like, I didn't lose a single game. So yeah, I don't really know if that means it worked or not. Like, I don't know what to think about that. There are pros out there that have said they just don't really care about items and that placebo doesn't really affect them. Apparently Jack is someone who said that, but that's definitely a rare thing at the top level. So the true answer to why every pro uses this car design actually has nothing to do with the items themselves, but rather the association that follows them, as more and more pros contribute to that cycle of inspiration. The idea of placebo has turned from a distraction with a negative connotation into a legitimately viable tool that pros use every single day. So I guess the takeaway is that placebo isn't such a bad thing after all. If you asked me that a couple years ago, I would have said the exact opposite, but I can't really argue with the success that it's brought so many players. So if you're ever feeling off in a day of ranked, consider switching to a preset that a pro player you watch uses. If you naturally associate that design with confidence and really good gameplay, then it should help you out in theory. But yeah, that's about it. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.